lives are each a unique, one-of-a-kind tapestry, and love is the thread that the Master Weaver uses to bring forth a finished work. I believe that one of his best tools to reach and capture our hearts is music. Welcome to a special edition of Music That Matters Most. I'm Deborah Maffitt. If you love music and heartwarming stories, then pull up a chair and stay a while. Join us as we walk down memory lane with legendary crossover country artist Crystal Gayle.
My very first instrument was a piano, which I still have.
We'll also meet the man behind the strings of Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, and Dolly Parton, Mark Taylor with Crafters of Tennessee.
It needs some work.
You say fiddle, some people say violin.
If you're in a bluegrass ensemble, it is a fiddle.
And we'll hear the tender and inspiring story of the Brashler family and meet their talented 13-year-old daughter, Clarissa.
And to hear her soul come out, the strains of that violin, it just melts my heart.
Plus, New York Times best-selling author of Fireproof, Eric Wilson, and his wife Carolyn give back to the Nashville School for the Blind.
And as soon as the music started up, you know, trying to end on the right note and just having a good time with that, and to see them kind of come alive with that. So it was really fun for me to watch.
We've got a lot coming your way, so stay with us when we come back, the legendary Crystal Gayle. The gift of music is something every child should be able to experience, but many parents don't have the extra resources to purchase instruments or private lessons. With ever-tightening budgets, numerous schools are reducing and even eliminating music programs. These realities are leaving millions of children without any music education. For many, their potential and music talents will never be realized. Through the centuries, learning to play a musical instrument has inspired, empowered, and brought joy to millions.
I believe music is great for expressing yourself because it really comes out of your heart.
I mean, I grew up singing in church because I love music. I have a passion for music.
Because without music, the world would pretty much be dull, dull. So that's why I like music.
All across America, there are musical instruments collecting dust, hidden away in attics, closets, and basements. Music to His Ears, with some minor repairs and elbow grease, takes these donated instruments and puts them back in peak performing condition.
I learned how to play it, and ever since then I've been real happy. It just touches my heart. It just sets me on fire and gets my week going.
Music to His Ears is a Nashville-based national nonprofit organization in the process of helping to reverse the trend of children being left behind in the area of music education. To learn how you can help, visit musictohisears.org. When I was growing up, one of my favorite memories was sitting at the piano with my mom and singing from our old red songbook. When I got a little older, one of my all-time favorite artists was Crystal Gayle. I love her song, Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. So what a privilege it was to have cameras behind the scenes, up close and personal at her production studio. And we found out that she's warm, she's witty, and she's got a heart as big as gold. Crystal Gayle is a timeless classic with her trademark nearly floor-length hair, her supple voice, and crossover country pop style. She's clearly one of America's most popular and widely loved country singers. In 1977, Crystal's crossover hit song, Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue, catapulted her into international stardom. From the London Palladium to groundbreaking CBS, NBC, and HBO concert and primetime specials, Crystal has performed for millions.
Music has always been a part of my life. My mother said I could sing before I could walk. So it goes back a long ways. And that's because my mother was very musical, my dad was very musical. You know, he played guitar. My mother would sing with her twin sister, you know, at churches and all the different places. And in Kentucky, where I was born, the front porch was the place together. And everybody would go there and sing and get their guitars out.
Everyone's happy and gay. Oh, I'll sing a song of my old Kentucky home, my old Kentucky home far away.
You do wonder how so many people fit in this house. I mean, we had 8 kids, and Mom and Dad and anybody else that ventured by that needed a place to stay, they could stay here. When we moved to Wabash, Indiana, when I was about 4, you know, it just went to the living room. You know, we didn't have that front porch. So, you know, just music has been there. It's a part of our souls. And having sisters and brothers that love to sing, whether they're in the business or not, you know, that was not the part of our life that was part of music. It was just, hey, this is just what we love to do. It lightens your soul. I think music could heal the world.
And I am lucky to have family on the road with me. My sister, Peggy Sue.
I got this guitar when I was in junior high, and it was a guitar that I loved playing, and I would actually play it and sing folk songs, and around different activities, you know, the different community events that were happening, and as well at school. For one variety show, I dressed up as a nun and sang Dominique and played guitar.
Mark has earned a reputation for being a master in making stringed musical instruments. His eye for detail in instrument construction is second to none. In addition to a long line of celebrity endorsements, Mark's instruments are also showcased in a number of museums around the country, from the Music Hall of Fame to the Smithsonian.
We use no prefab stuff in any of our instruments. You know, we take the raw boards, some of them might be 6 inches thick, we slice them, join them, book match them, sand them, we hand bend it. We do literally everything. You know, we do our own pearl work, we cut it, we don't buy it. We do our own finishing, our own spraying. We completely build it from scratch. When I was growing up, and my dad, he played with a lot of different musicians in his career. Yeah, he's done stuff, gosh, with John Denver. He did some stuff with Eric Clapton. Ultimately, he ended up playing on the Grand Ole Opry with Roy Acuff. My fond memories of that was all these people coming to the house, and you know, I started listening to this music, fell in love with it, and my dad was well known and played the dobro, you know, which is an instrument that's played horizontally, laying down flat and playing with the bar and so forth. Dad was finding all these very expensive vintage instruments. So I was looking at them, examining, measuring, miking, trying to understand why that particular guitar sounded better than this particular guitar. So I was looking at grains and the texture of the woods and the thicknesses of the woods. And so after looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of instruments through years of Dad doing vintage stuff, it helped me through my learning process to build instruments. And it kind of brought me up to my career of what I'm doing, you know, this day, and that's been almost 40 years now. So it's been a cool career, and I've been fortunate to be able to build for many famous musicians and artists, you know, from Garth Brooks to Alan Jackson to Dolly Parton to Vince Gill, and about 420 28, I think, different artists. Kind of a cool career.